That's pretty cool,
wow.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty
That's
cool.
actually really cool.
Mhm.
Just holy shit! Now I got to pay attention to that.
Yeah, we were
Yeah, I
just
know.
talking about giallo films in 7 and 7. So
Yes.
So-
This man Trevor.
See, I thought
knows it.
7 and 7 was a mixed drink. I thought it was like 7 Up and
I think I have the
7.
right one. It's a bottled drink. I think it's 7 and 7. I might be wrong, but there's one particular brand of liquor that you see in almost all Italian giallo films of the 60s and 70s, and I forget the one right now. It's Umberto Lenzi's Orgasmo. Actually goes to the point that every bottled drink in that film, including an entire bar, is the same brand.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's this weird.
They're like, what you want? We got one
Did
thing.
it ever
100 bottles.
did it ever actually become a profitable thing for these filmmakers, or was it like this really, really weird in joke? But it was
Maybe,
big
yeah,
enough that
yeah.
it, like, I mean, 4 out of every 5 giallo films has J and B. I was wrong. J and B.
J and B.
I spanked myself. J and B. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was totally wrong there, guys.
It's all right.
It was
So
liquor.
it's J and B.
J and B. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. Right here. Hang on. I'm gonna pull this up. Oh, no, not that. That didn't happen. But
Don't worry, folks.
Yeah.
HorrorWithSirSturdy will start after these.
Yes,
treatments.
yes. After this
listen,
moment for J and B liquors, so yeah.
boom. Not a sponsor,
Oh
but can.
shit! Yeah, there it is.
I remember seeing that in some of the movies
It's
we
that much
watched.
of a
Look,
there
it's
are
in the
memes
thing.
for it. Yeah, it's a thing.
Holy shit!
And like, okay, so right there's a beautiful example. When I saw the thing, because I saw it later in my life, I picked up on that, and that was, as you'll notice, they will show up in horror films as references to Italian giallo.
That's awesome.
Now I gotta pay attention to that now because it's gonna be burnt in my brain now. I'm gonna have
Instead
to
of
look up.
where's Waldo, where's J and B? So,
Yep. It's like one of those things. Like I hit a rubber duck somewhere during this episode. See if you can find it.
Oh, for that, I know you're talking about that paranormal show because my wife watches that. She tells me about it all the time. I'll watch it with her for time. I actually do enjoy
Project
it.
Fair.
There you go. Now we're not connected, but we can be. Take us on a tour. Take James.
Oh, I'll fucking go on a ghost hunt.
I know.
I'm down with the Zach Baggins. I hate it.
I see the thing with me is I'm curious. I'd want to go, but it's like if I like sense something or feel something, my instincts, I might just take off. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, yo, Aaron, there was nothing. It was the wind. Like, oh shit.
You're like, oh, my bad. I'll be okay next time.
You just gotta just let me know it's just the wind. Don't handcuff me to James because then I'm screwed. Try to run and drag him. Come on, James. What the fuck? Let's go. I'm scared. I'm about to shit myself. Oh well. We're gonna see. I came all the way out here to see a fucking ghost. I'm gonna see a fucking ghost.
I can handcuff you to myself. I'll handcuff you to me.
No,
so I
no,
drag you along.
No. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say something crazy.
No. Oh, so you can't run. I'm like, come on, we're gonna go into these woods. You hear that scream? Let's go see where it's at.
There is a couple things which me and you have talked behind the scenes, and I really do want to hear behind the scenes for now that I really would want to check out, especially if we could do a few of those, and especially if we could record it and use it. Oh my god, even more so.
Yeah, it would be
some
a
of
good
those
time.
Places with the haunts and all that. Not the haunts, but the actual places that are haunted or whatever. I do like the overnight stuff, and if the wives don't want to stay, they can get a room or rooms or whatever, and we'll stay there for that night. And
we'll put them in a Motel 6.
We'll leave the light on because they'll leave the light on for you.
You can stay with the drug dealers and shit, prostitutes.
That would be some crazy shit. Like, listen.
Oh, I felt something. Oh no, that was just a hypodermic on the floor. Crap.
Yep. Oh man, I gotta get tested.
I thought it was a good
Hep C.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, James. I don't think we should. I think it was a terrible idea leaving them at a Motel 6. They're better off staying with us if that's the case.
That's what I'm saying. They'll have to choose. You're like, hey, Motel 6 or some ghosts. You got to deal with something.
All right.
Okay.
I know your wife a little bit, and I know my wife a lot of bit. Neither one of them are gonna go for staying at a Motel 6. They're just gonna take the cars and go where they feel like staying, and that's it.
Oh yeah. My wife usually steals my cards and shit anyway, so yeah, she'll
See?
go whatever.
As a matter of fact, it'll already be booked before we even get there. They'll because what my wife does is, because she looks into all this shit. If we're going to stay somewhere, if we're going for like an attraction or whatever, she'll look around the attraction, check the best place to stay at, and also what's like stuff around to do. Me, I'm lazy. I'm like, okay, what's the place that's the closest to where we're going? I don't give a shit what's around there because I just plan on going right back to the room anyway. Never happens like that, which is a good thing because it ends up being fun once you're out and about doing shit. It's just, well, I can't tell you. I want to be, I'm a nasty nigga. I want to be nasty in a hotel. Shit. But besides that, that's not why we're here tonight. We're here to talk about Cannibal Man, which I hate the title for this freaking movie.
I do too.
Actually,
there's another title for it.
This title for it, not the original title. The original title and the translated title, which is The Week of the Killer. I don't know how to say that in Spanish.
La semana de asesino.
There you go.
There you go. That's way better. They should have used that.
Well, it's actually interesting because besides that being a great title for the film, and it by far more reflects what the film is, Cannibal Man actually was not what this film was known as for most of its distribution, and it did amazingly well overseas to the point that it was getting booked with films for 7 to 8 years under the title Appointment at Floor 14. Yeah, Apartment on the 13th Floor, pardon me. That's what it was actually known most as. It wasn't till, it's been like maybe 10 years or so that, the Cannibal Man moniker has really been a big thing. It's interesting because it's a film that really doesn't have any cannibalism at all.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's referenced, but we'll talk about that, as we go on.
No, you could even bring it up right now, Trevor. It's fine with the part where it's referenced because I was thinking about it as you were saying it. It's when he's working in that meat place, right?
Flory. Which is, all the references to Flory and all the soups and everything go back to that plant. And,
so would you say it's almost forced cannibalism in a sense then?
Well, that's what you don't know. So, so Marcos, who is our main character, works a very dead-end job in a Flory soup manufacturing center, and they are known for their meaty soups. And he's going nowhere, and he actually is kind of given a promotion to basically babysit a machine. And the machine, of course, represents, the fact that, everything is getting automated, but you never really know what that machine does.
No.
There's no explanation. So the closest thing we see is there's some sort of liquid. And Marcos, at one point, even is at the cafe, and they say about the broth being from Flory, and he doesn't eat it, but there's no actual answer to what that machine is. So there could honestly be no cannibalism in this film. That's why Cannibal Man is a strange name to begin with.
Yeah.
Week of the Killer or the Killer's Week fits so beautifully because, in itself, it's such a strange film because it's not a serial killer film. It is not a slasher film. It is a film of a person who just happened to be in a situation that they didn't think through on multiple levels and ended up killing somebody. Number one, he ends up killing a taxi driver by mistake. And then when his girlfriend, partner, whatever, but wants to marry, but they don't know because he's of a lower social status. He kills her because he doesn't want to get caught. So this is this week in which he is making such bad decisions and is so freaking confused all he knows to do is literally just kill that next person who potentially could rat him out.
Yeah.
And it's, so it's not a traditional film that you can just like put in one of those genres. There's a lot of social commentary, also this kind of playful humor to the film. I mean, it opens with a Flory beef commercial or soup commercial. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and what was oh shit, where was I going with this really quick. This was a strange ass movie, like you were saying.
Mhm.
And I was like, this guy went through all this shit over $3.50.
Well, back then there's a lot of money.
But still, though, I mean, yes, not a lot. I mean, because it was like, because that was it wasn't a lot in the sense of like it's expensive. It was just like a regular cab ride. He was just mad because it wasn't finished. But listen, you're being disrespectful to that guy. Listen, I asked you to stop doing this in my cab. Now you're not doing it, and you're just talking shit. Now you're being disrespectful. Now you can get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm. Bringing back to the original title, La Semana de Asesinos, it works so well because this is a accidental killer.
Yeah,
He
every
doesn't
time.
want to do these things, but for some reason, Marcos doesn't have the ability to think things out enough because it is just a lot of him making such split decisions. Oh, I have to
Or,
kill this person. Oh, I have to kill this person.
well, I mean, listen. Just to speak in movie terms, people, I'm
Mm.
not crazy. Before I say what I'm about to say, I did think this through. Putting yourself in Marco's shoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, listen, don't go in that room. That's all I ask. You can do whatever the fuck you want in the rest of the house. Don't go in that room.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes in there.
Yep.
They gotta pay the price. I told you not to go in there for a reason. There's obviously I didn't get around to cleaning it yet. And you just had to go in there. Like the first chick, she sneaks in there. Like what? I told you not to go in there.
Yeah. Oh, because it was her future husband's bedroom. Well, and she was going to look because there was supposed to be a surprise in there for her. The lie was from Marcos.
And that's what she gets for trying to ruin a damn surprise. So
exactly,
she's doubly fucked up.
You want to know what's weird to me about Marcos?
Okay.
Doesn't kick anybody out of the house.
Marcos is a very complicated character. I hate to really like downplay him as much as he is, but I'm curious what you're going to say.
So this is what makes me laugh every time he kills somebody. Okay, so he comes in. He's all you can see like they show beads of sweat in his head. He's like he's nervous. Shit. He's talking to the people. Every one of them. We're talking about the father of the girl, everybody. It's always a conversation at first. He's sitting there. He's talking. He's like, "Hey, yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, okay. You know, whatever they're talking about." Until they get into the room, like you said, Aaron, that he finds something, he kills him.
Yep.
But then he picks up the body, puts it in the bedroom, closes the door. Then when he leaves the house, he acts like nothing happens, like it's just a regular day.
He's only nervous, but you got to think about it. He's nervous at home because
I'll be shitting bricks and wouldn't leave the house. I'll be peeking out the windows and someone's looking at my house.
No. But you got to look at it like this too, James. He feels safer when he's away from his house because he's not there. The bodies are there. He's away from them. He's away from that whole shit. And it's just like he's probably thinking a little bit more clear. Then when he gets back to the house,
it's very blatant, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Not a lot is talked about Cannibal Man as actually, in certain ways being slightly tongue-in-cheek. Because there's a lot of serious concepts in the film. And Eloy de la Iglesia, the director, there's really no reason why he should have been working to the level he was in fascist Spain. And doing amazingly transgressive films, but there is this lightheartedness to this film that, and I hate to say it's playful, but Marcos he's kind of a sad character in the fact that literally he just wants to not go to jail and he just keeps literally like putting dead people under the rug because they just happen to get into the way of his tunneled vision. I'm going to go to jail.
Yeah.
And then of course he, you know, starts to splinter even further, but yeah.
Until that one dude like calms him down. It was like a weird relationship going on. I was like, what's going on here?
It's not weird. It's not weird at all.
I know exactly what's going on.
Okay. Eloy
That was
Iglesia.
love.
Oh yeah. Well,
That was love.
Eloy so Eloy Iglesia was something that not a lot of people were able to be in Spain in the film industry at that time. Openly homosexual, a Marxist, a learned liberal, and amazingly outspoken. Now, at this time, you saw an upswing in Spain of the cinema fantastique. So you had Jess Franco working, Blood Splattered Bride, a lot of films like that that came out and were making social comments by hiding under horror, because the censorship in Spain until the death of Franco and the end of his fascist regime was very tight, but you could get away with certain things. Like, you'll always see at a certain point that the bad guy always gets their comeuppance, and usually law enforcement is seen as a superpower. You couldn't say anything directly against the government. So by putting it in the disguise of a horror film or a sci-fi film or whatever, some of the best filmmakers in the time period of like 1969 to 75 in Spain were doing genre films, like Eloy de la Iglesia, because, you know, he brings up numerous elements. You mentioned about his sexuality. Marcos, in certain ways, is very much experimenting and trying to figure out what he is in general. But it's very interesting because it also brings in an element of how class plays in this film. So Marcos lives in like literally a rundown house-ish kind of thing.
Yeah.
That shows that he is the, you know, part of the proletariat. He is definitely, you know, the working person. But literally across the street, there are these new high-rise buildings, and this was happening at the time in Spain. So this was a social comment in itself that, you know, urban sprawl was pushing out a lot of the general people of Madrid. So yeah, just that alone, because there's I cannot remember his name off the top of my head, but the character that is living in the tower and is definitely fascinated by Marcos and definitely sees something in him that I don't think Marcos really feels anybody else could see in him. And that is, you know, does not view him as guilty, even though he is very much a voyeur of what's going on in that neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So he knows exactly what Marcos is doing. But no, I mean, to portray a homoerotic relationship to this level in Spain in 1972 was amazing. Mm-hmm. I mean, the film also has the notoriety of, so there's two levels of censorship in Spain at this time, and that's you present them a finished script and then they tell you this has got to go, this has got to go, this has got to go, but you also have to present the finished film. Now, based on the fact that so many of these films were just distributed to the US and other elements of Europe and the world, uncut versions would come out, but this film, Eloy de la Iglesia wanted it to be as extreme as humanly possible, which you don't get in the final cut, but supposedly there were 62 cuts requested to the finished film. and he actually did a lot of them. So yeah, there are some scenes floating around, but no, I mean, and also Cannibal Man has gained a level of notoriety because it was also on the original list of video nasties, for no other reason than it had cannibal in the title.
Yeah.
Video nasties, of course, being the British suppression of certain horror titles and graphic titles. So, this film has been in some very, very interesting company and has helped, to get what is one of Eloy de la Iglesia's best films out there. So, yeah, I mean, this has always been a favorite, but it's a totally different style of horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. And again, it just shows you one thing it definitely shows you is people don't fucking listen at all.
That's so true. Yes.
People don't listen and people are very disrespectful because
Just don't go in the damn door.
exactly. It's like it's one thing, right? The only way that shit doesn't work to where you say don't go in there, to an extent, I guess, unless it's like your room, but still, it's still like you can't really say that if it's your wife. It's like, you know what? You're gonna find out anyway. You probably already know what's in there. A bunch of dead bodies in there. How'd this happen? Well, funny story.
The movie
He
also
has a
makes
stoicism to him also that, is just like dominoes. He just, his gut react, but it is like the worst possible week one would have based on one mistake.
Yeah.
It makes you think like if you're in his shoes, like what would your process be? Like he killed his own brother. Like I don't think I would never kill a family member for myself. I'd rather go to prison than kill my family.
Yeah.
Killed
So
his
it was really
fiance or fiance to be.
Yeah.
Kill her like that.
Like that. But it's just for some reason family. Like it seemed like he was close to his brother. Like they were close. So it's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm not going to prison. So he takes out his brother.
I mean, it could have been to the point to where, like, because remember how when it happened with the cab driver, right? The fight with which, honestly, I understand it with the cab driver, and I feel like he may have been able to get off if you just go there and tell the cops what happened. Like,
Yeah, I think that was defense.
Self-defense. Like there was a misunderstanding, and he attacked my woman. He slapped the hell out of her. So I did what any other person would do. I knocked his ass out with a rock, and he ended up dead. Oops. But nah, he ran. And then
it goes to panic. Yeah, of course, because you don't
no, he took off because they took off. Remember, they went back to the house. They started fucking.
Yeah, it turned them on or something.
I guess she wasn't into it at all. But
yeah, she was crying and shit. I was like, okay, dude, you gotta stop. I think this is crossing a line here.
And then like she's just mentions the whole thing. We should go to the police, this, that, and the third. And of course, he ends up taking her out. And I'm just like, all right. But my whole thing, I'm just like, all right, man, you did this with her. You could have you just get rid of the body. You don't just leave it right in the room. Leave it right in the room. Just put it right in the bed. Like, but okay.
It's like kind of the hilarity of the fact, okay, it's in the bed, so now we're going to try to put it under the bed, and then it just
it's crazy.
Yeah. But he killed. When he killed, was it his brother and his brother's fiance that laid them in the bed together? I was fucking laughing so hard.
Made them face each other,
laughing
like they were sleeping.
Hard. Yeah, because at first the way that they were laying, kind of, and then he just put them in the what's good. What's good, scene snobs? And then kind of put them in the middle together. And I was laughing so fucking hard. Love the setup, Trevor. Oh man,
he goes to the general store. He buys like fucking 100 bottles of fucking cologne.
I want to talk about that because I know this was 1972, mind you, right? He bought 6 bottles of some good ass air freshener, pretty much.
Yeah, some kind of like Glade.
10 bottles of perfume. The dude spent $20. That'll be $20 fucking dollars. Yo.
Imagine it was like up there with Jade East or something. We're not talking about great stuff.
True. But still.
But
You
that
can't even
fucking
get off
store
brand. You
owner was
can't get
happy
that.
as
You
hell.
can't get that much off brand shit. Like say that same stuff off brand for $20. I don't think you can. And if you can, don't buy it because that's gonna be some dangerous ass shit. There's a reason why it's that cheap. That shit ain't going off the shelf for a reason. Because the first person
You know what
put
that
it
shit
on,
looked like? It looked like bottles of Stenson. Like the shape of the bottle. It reminded me of Stenson. I was like, damn, his house is gonna be fucking strong smelling. That's another thing. You had to buy all that shit to cover up fucking rotten bodies. People coming in, and a lady comes in, she goes, basically, she's like, your house stinks.
Yeah.
But yet again, that's why I pointed the fact that this is in its own way, it's a very playful film.
Yeah, it is. There you go.
It's not usually brought up as that because there's a lot of really serious things that go on the film, and it is making cultural, criticisms that were not, something that you could do very often. Now, De La Iglesia is interesting in the fact he came from a well-to-do background. He went to school for film and philosophy. He then made his first film in 1966, which was called Fantasmas Tres, or Fantasy 3, which was a children's film. He then made this really, really dreadful film that is like a boxing film that he kind of wiped from his career. This film called The Glass Ceiling, which was a humongous hit.
Really?
It was huge. And that made it possible for a lot of Cannibal Man to be made. So the lead, Marcos Vicente Parra, was a huge star in Spain. He played a lot of historical figures in very popular, rather nationalistic films. And he was approached by De La Iglesia, and they both became very close to the point that he decided he was going to produce the film.
Ooh.
And he took it for a couple reasons. The biggest was he was this extraordinary actor, but based on him being, the face of these historical epics, he wanted to actually break the cycle. So by signing on with De La Iglesia, it gave him a chance to really just like, okay, I want to just let go and show how I can perform, which actually he even won something very similar to like a Spanish Oscar, I believe, for his performance as Marcos.
Nice.
So a film this transgressive that, has very distinct things to say about the church, the government, what sexuality is, the ability for the rich versus the poor to be able to have certain lives. Yeah, so this was actually, it wasn't commercially successful in Spain, but a lot of other places, but it was critically loved. And Eloy da Iglesia eventually would make. So I remember this film called Kids that came out in the 90s. That
I
was
remember
all
that.
shot with. Yeah. Okay. So
I've
he
yet to
was
see
make.
that.
It's a very
It's
good
a movie
film.
about AIDS being spread between the
Oh no,
teenagers.
it's basically follows kids that are on the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah.
But it was a big deal at the time. Eloy da Iglesia in the 80s made several films, two of the most important, Pico and Pico 2, which are called Kiki films, which were youth delinquents, but specifically connected to heroin. And this was all people that were non-professional, to the point that Eloy da Iglesia disappeared because he became a heroin addict hanging out with people that long. Yeah. De La Iglesia is a very fascinating history and really, really awesome films that are not all horror. So,
Wow.
Nice. I do want to say something about this here real quick.
ooh.
So, Evil Dead Trap. It's an Asian film.
Yep.
There's 2 of them. So what I did, there's this one, and then there's these 2, and there's another. I forgot which 2 movies they were, but there's another. It's Satan's Slaves. I put that one in the sequel on here. So when it hits those 2 movies, I'm just gonna line those 2 up for the next Tuesday and Thursday. So we're gonna do this one Tuesday and then the sequel Thursday, just so I don't have to spin the wheel again and all that.
So we'll do 1 and 2.
Yep. Because
Awesome.
I was thinking, what if it hits part 2 first? You don't want to watch this shit backwards. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do it like this. So so we're gonna be watching this one and the sequel Tuesday and Thursday. Reviewing this.
A very interesting film. I'm very happy we're going to do this and its sequel.
Evil Dead Trap and Evil Dead Trap 2. Me too. And honestly, here's the funny thing. I'm gonna keep this up here for a second. So here's the funny thing, right? I forgot to excuse me. I forgot to add like some more movies to the foreign wheel list for for Sturd-o-Ween. So I'm looking at the list today. I'm like, you know what? I meant to do it earlier today. I'm like, and I go to do it probably like an hour ago now. So around maybe about an hour and a half ago. So like 7, more or less. I'm like, you know what? Let me add some more movies to this shit. I had 3 fucking movies left. How? Why? Don't ask. But so I threw up quite a few on there, as you guys can see.
Awesome.
But, Evil Dead Trap 1 and 2, and I'm also saying that because those are 2 movies I literally added today. Like I said, everything on here I added. So again, when we get to Satan's Slaves and Satan's Slaves Communion, we'll watch both of those movies. That whatever week that is, and then the rest will be how they are because they're all.
Okay.
The Evil Dead Trap movies are a lot of fun because we've already done kind of Japanese horror, but those films fall in that fringe area. I think they originally got released as straight-to-video films and are they're a part of the guinea pig films, which Flowers for Flesh and Blood is nothing but somebody being hacked to pieces. These 2 films have more to do with that element of Japanese horror cinema, which is really awesome.
I love Asian cinema, especially horror. So
this is super indie Asian cinema.
Oh, it's gonna be so fun. That's gonna be so fun. Oh yes. That's gonna be so fun. I can't wait. And please listen. I'm gonna say this now. I'm gonna say this right fucking now. Please. Evil Dead. What is it? Evil Dead Trap?
Yeah.
Evil Dead Trap. Yeah.
Evil Dead Trap. Please. From Sturdy to you. And part 2. Please don't be another Leprechaun 4, Leprechaun in Space. Please don't do that to me. Where I'm so excited to see you, and I have such a letdown. You know what I mean? It's like racing, right? It's like drag racing. You feel like you got that win. You cut a great light. You do everything you're supposed to do, but then you fucking run under, or some shit like that, and you run under by just a smidge. Or the guy passes you right at the finish line. Just you know what I mean? Or you're about to
I
get
think
it
it will
in.
impress you with its sleaziness. And it's not the sleaziest of the bunch by any stretch of the imagination. But I think it might impress you there, if nothing else.
I take all that back.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a good time with this movie. I feel like I will anyway, but I'm just saying, like, you can go back to Leprechaun 4. You can actually go back to the previous episode before Leprechaun 4, whatever episode that was. Listen, watch it on YouTube. If you want to fast forward to the fucking I should probably clip it. If you want to fast forward to the fucking part where we spin the wheel and it picks that movie, you see how fucking excited I got? And then
he was so happy.
The next episode, how disappointed I was.
He thought he was going to watch like a number 10 rating movie.
Was this the one in space?
Yeah, it was horrible.
And it was just like, and for me, I'm like, okay, Leprechaun movies, like once it gets to the hood, like the first one, and really, I think it's a good horror movie. The sequel is when they started getting silly and fun, whatever. I think it started. I don't know if that started with part 3 or whatever, but love Leprechaun in the Hood because it's so fucking ridiculous, makes 0 sense, but it's just fun and funny. Gotta watch it once in a while. But that one there, I knew it was gonna be cheesy, but it wasn't the good cheese. It wasn't like the fun cheesy. The jokes weren't even funny. It was just like
it was just bad.
It just felt like it was thrown together. It just felt like it was just kind of rushed thrown. Like, let's just throw this out here because we know the people are going to watch it, and it showed. It really showed. Instead of let's just make this a fun movie, weird movie in space. Let's not overthink it. Let's not try to oversell. Let's just do what we've been doing to make these movies funny.
Have you ever noticed that one of the worst films in almost any horror franchise takes place in space? The Leprechaun movie, Jason X.
Hang on.
Well, okay.
I do want to disagree with Jason X. Just Jason. Okay. I think Jason X is better than Jason Goes to Hell.
What was it? Hellraiser Bloodline. That part of it was in space. Yeah. I'm the guy that still says Jason Goes to Hell is the best of the movies, but I'm willing to wear that weird. Yeah.
Listen, I love that for you though. I love that because what doesn't say Trevor than something like that? And I mean no disrespect when I say that. That's just like a beautiful thing because you're so unique with how you watch and enjoy film. So I'm sure the way that, which we're gonna break this down one of these days, why you love that film so much out of all the rest.
I would love to do that because it really is. It's such an oddity. I mean, it's not as great as Halloween 3. That is just a triumph. But it is so out of the recipe that it is no matter. I mean, a lot of people didn't like it because it was out of the recipe. I thought it was interesting because somebody was like, well, let's try to put new life into the recipe.
And I feel like for me, and this could be a fault, this could be one of those things where it's like Friday the 13th is my favorite franchise of everything. Not my favorite movies. I don't have a favorite horror movie, which is weird because my favorite movie of all time is The Lion King and White Fang. But that's besides the point. What I'm getting at is it's just like, all right, man. I can accept certain things with Friday the 13th. I don't hate Jason Goes to Hell, though. I used to, but as I got older, I grew to enjoy it more. I don't know if I'll ever grow to love it. That sounds so terrible. That sounds like a relationship. I don't know if I'll ever grow to love him. It sounds like you never know. You just might. Or vice versa. Yeah, man. I don't know if I'll ever grow to love her. All that dumb shit. But no, that's how I feel about that movie. Like, I like it. I like it a lot, actually, now. But because I don't watch it as a Friday the 13th movie anymore. I watch it more as a horror movie. I kind of take in a weird way. I still attach it to it, but I don't. It's like there as like it's like a cousin. So I do attach it to it, but it's not like I feel like the rest are like siblings. Besides Part 5. Part 5 is like another cousin, but I love Part 5.
Yeah, Jason's in it for in the beginning for 3 minutes until he blows apart. Then he don't come until the end when he rips out of the guy with clothes on. By the way, with his clothes and mask. That's kind of weird. Man, Jason's magic. But hey, no, it was entertaining. But you're right, it wasn't like the best out of all of them. It's like I'd rather watch Jason in space, Jason X over that one.
Listen, Jason, you know what it is with Jason X?
They have cool kills. They had cool kills. Yeah, the cool kills.
The face smash kill was just one of the ones, and the sleep kill was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
I think that's
he was like, "What the fuck?" You just keep swinging, slapping her against the tree, wondering why she's not dying.
But
yeah,
that's funny. On a little tangent right there. But yeah, so I'm going back to what we were originally saying. Is I'm hoping we have a good time. I feel like we will with the Evil Dead Trap movies next week. And this movie here is something that honestly, it is a good movie. It really is a good fucking movie. It's just like this guy is so out there. Like he's so different, so weird, so strange. And I say it because what we were saying earlier, going just to kind of get back into it, how at home he's the most uncomfortable person in the world. Outside of the home, which is like the opposite, I feel like, of everybody in the world that I know. Everybody in the world that I know, the most comfortable place is at home. I'm not saying that they're not comfortable outside. There's a lot of people that I know that are comfortable inside and outside. But then there's some people that are just way more comfortable just at home. Listen, this is my space. This is my happy space. You can come here. That's cool. But I'm comfortable here. I'm not going to your house. I'd rather just bring the party here type of deal. I get that. I understand that. I think that's cool and all. This guy was the complete opposite of that. He was like, yo, let's bring the party outside. Like, man, let's go to your house. Like, No, let's not go to my house. I don't even want to be at my house. Like literally, I don't want to be at my house. Like I have 17 jobs because I don't want to be at my house. I don't care about being alone. I'll be alone at your house, but I don't want to be alone at my house. I don't want anybody at my house. I want to burn my house down type of deal. That's the vibe I got from him. Like I'm just
Well, look at it. I mean, he's as I mentioned before, that the fact that there are these high-rise apartments right beside his run-down house, which really is it's only a matter of potentially days until eventually it's going to be, bulldozed for more apartment buildings. So it's already a kind of like, uh, the higher class looming over him, as of course he is in very interesting situations and gets himself into very bizarre situations, but he is pretty much the every person. He goes to his work, he does his work, he comes home. He is definitely of a different class than what literally in this film is like everybody in front of him, and he's like
the
the
guy's spying
last
on him.
one standing. Yeah, so
Even his
I
love.
can see why he wouldn't want to be in the house. He feels like which he is being watched, but not in a negative way. But yeah, I mean,
And that's what I
it
was
can't be
getting at. Is the guy that I feel like his true love. Honestly, the reason why I say that is because he didn't kill him. He knew everything he did. He didn't kill him. Everybody else that knew what he did, he killed him right away.
Well, he was going to attempt to. He had
Yeah,
that glass bottle, but then he just dropped it and started crying. He's
yeah,
like, I
and
can't do it.
real. I mean, I already knew there was something going on between the two, but right there, once he threw that glass down like that, I was like, "This is true love right here. That's beautiful." But I'm like, because he didn't. No, seriously though, because he didn't kill him. Like he didn't love the people earlier. He didn't really truly love those people earlier.
Not his own brother either.
And but you got to think about it though. Those other people did ridicule him in one way or another. One, and they disrespected him by not listening to him too. And that's a huge thing. But I mean, the other dude did spy on him a lot, which is the ultimate disrespect. But
super stalk.
In a sense, I guess. But he knew everything and he didn't tell on him. So I guess it's more of like he's seen me do all.
He was even trying to give him hints. He was like, you should bury him, and he's like, what? He was like, oh, you should bury those feelings. He changed it, switched it. So,
and that's what I'm saying though. Is it's like, yeah, there was that too. But I'm saying like once the whole spying thing, he could have called the police on him multiple times easily and just said, "Hey, listen, my neighbor over here. I just happened to be looking at my binoculars and he just killed somebody. I believe he just killed somebody. And you should go check it out. You should go into his house. He's home around this time. Blah 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 blah." Or he's not home around this time. Go in the house if you can get a warrant. I don't know how that shit works, and fucking go in there and you'll see the bodies, and then go get them or wait for them or whatever. I don't know.
Well, there's this level of attraction to Marcos that is very very innocent in its own way. That even though he has seen what Marcos has done, there is this compassion for him. And that in itself is a very fascinating dynamic between those two characters, because that's why Marcos does not kill him. He is, appreciates Marcos for what Marcos potentially can't be. And, it's very key in Eloy de Iglesias' work. But it's yet again comes back to the economic element. So you have, and I feel horrible, I can't remember his name. The person who lives in the high rise, they're of a very high social status, and with a high social status and a high class.
Oh, it was Nestor.
Yeah, Nestor. That's right. Nestor basically by his class made it easier for him to be a homosexual and out, where the proletariat could never do that. And you got to remember, at this time you're in a fascist regime by dictator Franco. You're also under a lot of the Catholic Church with the Franco regime. So, it was taking a huge risk to be out to begin with. But the statement that Eloy de la Iglesia is trying to make, that, it is virtually impossible to be out unless you are part of a particular class and people just look the other way.
Nice.
And that's a continual, and it's a lot of his work. I do have to say, to put him into like, say, an American filmmaker, very different concepts and everything, but he is in Spain kind of like what Romero was, a very political, socially conscious director that used horror tropes to make larger statements about life. So that's a good way I think you need to approach Cannibal Man.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. What's good, Chad? How's it going, man? How's it going? And I like how you see you listened from last time. Now you're signing into Chad, man. So we still know it's you, but the video, boom, smart man, smart man. Oh shit, this is a good movie though. Oh, by the way, next week, Chad, we're doing Death Trap 1. Or no,
Evil Dead
Evil
Trap.
Dead, Evil Dead Trap. Evil Dead
Trap.
Evil Dead Trap Part 1. We're doing 1 and 2 next week, but if you're around for Tuesday, pull up. Oh, that's gonna be fun.
We gotta rate this.
Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah. Go ahead, James. What's your rating?
All right, I'm going to give this. So it's I would give a better score if it was more into the horror realm. This was like out of it a little bit. But it was still a good movie, so I'm giving this a 6.
That's fair. How about you, Trevor?
I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it is honestly that important of a film. And really the first, well, not the first, but the biggest commercial entrance of a very distinct voice in filmmaking. So yeah, I'll give it a 9.5.
Well,
nice. Yeah, I gave it a 7.5. I did enjoy it. I think I've enjoyed it more. I was watching it on Tubi, and I don't know if you could switch to the Spanish option, to switch the language options or not, the audio options out there or not.
I tried, I couldn't.
So that right there kind of bothered me some. Not that it took away from the movie. I think I had more joy because I just enjoy the films being seen the way they're, you know what I mean? The way they should be saw. So the way they should be watched.
The majority of the world saw this in English. So yeah, so honestly, it's like some Italian horror where most of the Italian horror is post-dubbed because everybody's speaking different languages. I mean, you have like half Italian, a couple Germans, and then Christopher Lee. Although he spoke everything, so he's not a good example. Like Peter Cushing or something. So a lot of those films, actually, the dubbed versions are more true to what the scripts are.
Oh, okay.
Because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I don't want dubbed, and I'm trying to fix it. I'm going to settings and everything. I was like, oh crap. So I was like, well, guess I'm gonna watch it dubbed.
I think because I think I tried it before on Tubi, and I was just like, I'm not even gonna fuck with it. I don't think you can. I'm not sure, but I'm not gonna battle it.
If you can, I couldn't figure it out.
But it's just amazing that it offers what it does.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love Tubi. No disrespect towards Tubi. Tubi's an amazing app. Yeah. I mean, they get what they get. It was the way that they got the movie. It's not their fault. It's the way that they got the movie. But yeah, man. I can't wait for next week's movies now.
Yeah, I'm excited to revisit them because
I never seen them.
It's a strange subgenre of, because these films very much, and there were many other ones, but these are definitely in the canon of films that influenced what eventually became torture porn in the United States.
Shit.
So, these are not the most over-the-top examples, but they did, like Hostel and things like that, were definitely influenced by the VHS sometimes shot on video cassette, sadistic horror films that were released in Japan on a regular basis. I mean, we're talking about a country that during the 80s, early 80s, I think it had like 4 to 5 parts. It was released on VHS, and it was RAPE Man.
Wow.
So that gives you an idea of what this subculture of cinema in Japan was like. I mean, these are very calm compared to other ones, but it's a good introduction.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Woo! Damn.
Yep.
Damn. They're crazy over there.
If we ever watch that one, we'll have to put a disclaimer before we start.
Yeah, subcultures of subcultures, you know.
Oh. I don't know. Japan, they got some crazy ideas over there.
They do.
They don't care. They cross all lines. They don't give a fuck. They want to fuck with you. They want to make you feel uncomfortable. They try to scare the shit out of you. Intensity. I don't know. I just love how Asian horror, just how they go with it. They just try to put everything into it.
Mm.
Yeah.
But now that we're doing all these other countries, like a few of them I didn't even know had fucking horror movies that we did. I was like, what? It opened up. Hey, I was like, damn, these are good too. Like shit.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was gonna say. Well, that's not what I was gonna say, but now I'm gonna say it. I love how from this year alone, just doing the themes and stuff, like switching up the themes, watching different horror movies, getting into different ways, watching different horror movies, and other ways of just going by the subgenre of the movie. You know, like slasher, horror, not horror. You know, what I mean, slasher, paranormal, found footage, which I am gonna be doing a found footage wheel, but you know what I mean. Besides the point of that. Doing found footage in February. Nothing more lovely than that.
Definitely would. If you can throw butterfly kisses on there, that would be really cool.
Okay.
So I'd love to talk about Eric's film.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Butterfly kisses.
We could definitely make that work.
Sounds like a song from Motown.
It's actually really it's a found footage film that's based around an urban legend in Ellicott City. And it plays the found footage film in a very postmodern way that you spend a majority of the film really kind of like, well, this is all BS. But it's very clever. And it was my friend Eric Meyer's final film, which was very unfortunate because for a movie that was written in a week and tossed together, I think like maybe 15-day shoot. It's pretty awesome.
Okay.
Nice.
Also, I will have those beach things to you for later in the year by the end of the week.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I just need to actually look at all of them and pick the ones out because there's so many.
Yeah, because I think there was only for December. I think we only got 3 weeks just because of
3 weeks. Yeah, because of the holiday.
Yeah, because we started it last year for both shows. To take in that last week, Christmas week, just take that whole week off, refresh, and come back in the new year.
Bloody muscle bodybuilder in hell.
What the hell is that? What are you watching, James?
That's not it's like an hour-long Japanese film, and yet again, it's like a splat stick.
Wow.
But it is part of that whole like extreme gore movement that was very big in Japan.
Nice. Oh man, this is gonna be fun. Oh, so many movies we're gonna get to and talk about, people. I can't wait. And Trevor's insight and input is
thank you for allowing me to babble. So,
listen, it works because it's one of those things where it's like I want to hear more about this. I want to learn more about this movie. I know I'm not going to go and Google a bunch of shit. I know James isn't either, and he wants to hear more about it. And you have the thing is you have the knowledge, and you just with so many different films, it's so awesome. Not only do you have the knowledge, but just like to remember all that. I'm just like, that's fucking phenomenal to me.
When I do this with Trevor's on, it's like me coming to school. I'm here to learn.
No, but it's like us going. It's like us. It's better than that because it's like us. And honestly, I feel like maybe school should be educational like this, where you're going to learn. You're still being educated. It's just not in a traditional way. So you're still learning something. Ah, Professor
Let's give me
T.
bad. Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Professor T.
He is a
Thank you,
teacher,
guys.
but he's great at it. Like, what grade do you teach? Or do you? What grade do you teach?
Oh, well, I'm a part-time teacher for K to 12 various elements of autistic support.
Nice.
So I
awesome.
sometimes work just one-on-one with the students. Sometimes I have a whole class, things of that nature. But it's kind of like, they just plop me. I have one building.
Nice.
And they plop me wherever they need me. So it's like almost every.
Okay.
So,
that's awesome, though.
Yeah, that is cool.
I'm a sub. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I wish I would have started doing it years and years and years ago.
That's awesome. I thought because you're really helping a lot of kids out. That's dope. That's dope.
And substitutes are needed. Substitute teachers are needed, big time.
Yeah. Definitely.
So if you have what the state needs for that, it's needed. So
that's awesome, though. That's really awesome. Hell yeah. Much respect. I love how you call him Professor T. Didn't even know he was a teacher.
Well, I actually chilled out watching the Beetlejuice podcast, and that's what they had said on that, which I thought was hilarious. And thank you. Nice. I don't, it's nice to hear compliments, but I just don't. I just happen to have weird knowledge of stuff from.
No, it's awesome knowledge though, because again,
thank you.
You got to look at it like this. Since you've been coming on the podcast, all of your knowledge has been like discussed, and we love it.
Oh,
These guys over
at
the video clerks love it. We love it here on HorrorWithSirSturdy. They love it over on the Scene Snob. So it's just like a whole.
Well, thank you.
It's awesome. It's fun because it's like, oh shit, I didn't even know that this.
It's nice when you can get somebody involved in film that they like, but also kind of give them a little bit of a point, like, hey, try to like go and look at it this way. And that's one of the wonderful things about foreign horror it is in North America, or not North American because we had Canadian, but United States horror. There's not a lot of depth as far as meaning and social commentary and political commentary that is quite prominent in foreign cinema, especially of certain times, depending on what's going on in that region. So, a lot of the major foreign horror films do have some connection to that. Where the United States, we definitely, as I said, Romero, Carpenter, Larry Cohen, the list is endless, but you don't see a lot nowadays. I mean, we have like Jordan Peele, who is fucking immense. But you don't see a lot of horror movies that come out that, are making you think about things like what is going on in the United States, what's going on in certain places in the disguise of a horror film, which is what Eloy and Iglesia was doing, if for no other reason, to hoodwink the censors. So
what's good about that, now that you mention it with the Jordan Peele movies, is it's one of those movies where you can watch it as that, to where you're like looking at watching the movie and then like kind of giving it the worldview or looking at the world different. Or you could just honestly you could like ignore it and just watch it as a really good. You could watch it as a really good movie either way. You could ignore it to the point because it's not like it's forced. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's in such a creative way. In my opinion, it's in such a creative, unique way to where it's not like just right here. It's just because you could also be watching it like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Oh my god, this is a really holy shit. You know what I mean? Versus
they're wonderful films in the fact you can watch them once and they're just really fun and really intense. And to quote a character from Grotesque, you see it a second time and you go, oh crap. And that's a sign of a phenomenal film. And I'd like to see more social commentary in the horror genre. It is out there. It's just, It isn't necessarily celebrated as much as, like, what character part 5. So
I just love that you just really quick, guys. We reviewed Grotesque on Tuesday. If you guys have not seen that episode, after this episode, go check it out. If you haven't seen the movie, watch the movie first, and check out that episode. But it was a good time. We had the director on and everything. It was such
Brandon
time.
Reines.
Brandon Reines. Shout out to you. Shout out to Jamie Hill, and shout out to Grotesque. Go check that movie out. It was a fun indie film.
big shout out to the whole family out there working together in cinema.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we had so much fun with that.
Yep.
So much fun with that. Oh my goodness. But to wrap this one up, gentlemen, you have any last words about this film?
I'm good.
How about you, Trevor?
Highly recommend it. It is a good introduction to a very important world director, who, since his death, I think it was like 2006, I'm not 100% certain, has his reputation for being very much a trailblazer and extraordinarily transgressive in various genres of cinema just keeps growing. And yet again, anything, but especially when you start looking at movies from other countries, especially if you look at horror, there's so much that is out there that you might not know, but also understand you're in most places you're looking at maybe 20% of the stuff is out. So, there's so much. It's amazing. And you really do. This film is in a horror film format. It says a great deal about Spain and Madrid in 1972. And that's what makes this film really cool. And it ages very well because there are still many of the same concerns. So yeah, it's worth your time.
It is. It really is. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. I'm not saying I probably personally won't go back to it, but I am glad I was introduced to the film. I am glad I watched the film. And I love that it has a different title. And it's one of those fun things to where, like, if you've seen the movie, like, if you've seen the movie, about that, type of deal. And it's just, I don't know, just one of those cool, fun things where, you're at a horror convention, you're waiting in line for something, somebody brings this movie up, and you're like, oh yeah, but it's also called blah 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 blah. You just had that fun conversation about it.
I'll end with this one thing, and it's a random little cool thing. There are a lot of cool things about a lot of little movies and things like that. But okay, so this film, as I said, it was released under apartment on the 13th floor in a lot of places. And I forget how wide the release was, but this film actually was the opening film for a large portion of the initial release of the Rolling Stones' Sympathy for the Devil documentary made by Jean-Luc Godard. And it makes no conceivable sense, but yeah. So weird little thing that, but got it seen by a lot more people because, of course, a Rolling Stones documentary did very well in cinemas. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Trevor knows his shit.
Random amounts of stupid shit.
No, it's great shit. It's great. See, I you already know, man. I don't do the trailer thing, so I just can't wait for the movie to be out, stream it, watch it, and have a great freaking time with it, have some laughs, and bring them back on. And I'll work it out so where we'll do it on a Tuesday again. Once this is out, even if it's after all this, we'll do a special Tuesday because I definitely want you guys there with us to discuss.
You guys are going to be joining us for Evil Dead Trap 1, right?
Oh yeah, they're going to be here for Evil Dead Trap 1.
Awesome.
They just won't be there for 2 because they can't on Thursday. Well, I think he's getting to go to work on Thursdays.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Oh hell yeah, it's gonna be a grand old time. I can't wait. I can't wait. But people, before we wrap this up, I just want to let you guys know what's coming up over here on HorrorWithSirSturdy. Well, tomorrow, Sturd-o-Vision. Midnight, we will be reviewing Death Proof. Doing a little watch party at 10. To be a fun time. And then next Tuesday. Boom. Evil Dead Trap. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And boom. Evil Dead Trap 2. And what was funny, right? So I just went on the I was like, let me Google something. I was like, let me go to Google. I Googled, and I could have just went to Shudder alone. I was like, international horror movies on Shudder, and it brought me right to the freaking list of international horror movies on Shudder. So I was like, let me just grab some. Let me just grab a few, and I did. So this is gonna be. I cannot wait to see these two movies. This is gonna be a good time. But I do want to say this, people. Make sure you go check out Trevor over on Ambassador Radio. Come check us out over on Popcorn and Pints. Come right back here every Tuesday and Thursday during Sturd-o-Ween. At 8 o'clock Eastern time. And come back tomorrow, well, Friday at midnight, technically Saturday at 12 a.m. for Sturd-o-Vision, which is going to be the last episode until November. We'll be going to November again like Wyclef, because take a little break from it, because 3 shows plus Popcorn and Pints is a lot. And football. It's a lot.
I love that somebody is still making a Wyclef reference.
You have to, man.
I love that the last show you said that.
And what works for me is because November is my birthday. So
happy birthday in advance.
There you go.
I don't even know that reference is from. I don't know what song that's from.
It's a fairly big song for him.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called, but it was a good song.
I don't remember it. I probably know if I hear it, but
yeah, you definitely.
I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Wyclef. I'll send you guys both.
Started on the music references. So.
And if I don't, Uncle T will, aka Professor T will. Uncle Professor T. Like, why do you guys call him that? Listen, we respect him as an uncle, but he's a professor because he teaches us a lot.
Thank you. Well, thank you for, as I said yet again, thank you for allowing me to babble, and it's always a joy to talk about
anytime
shared interest with people.
Hell yeah! Thank you for teaching us so much stuff. See, people, we can learn. We just have to be interested in the things. That's what I was getting at earlier with with school and kids and stuff. Yes, they can still learn. You can teach them how to read and count and do other things, but put a book that interests them in front of them. They'll learn how to read it, and they will read it.
Yep.
Just saying. Just saying. But we're going to get on out of here. Again, check us out every Saturday night at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Popcorn and Pints, which we're going to have a live video for you guys, but it's not going to be a live episode. It's going to be a pre-recorded episode. So if you guys are in the comments and we're not responding, we're not there. We're not really there. So cuss us out all you want in the comments. Make sure they're all at Chris.
At Chris.
He's not here. So he's not here to defend himself. So I'm going to talk shit. But, and by the way, because I talk shit about him, go check out Stories from a Bar, because he does have a very awesome podcast where he goes to local breweries around where we live, upstate New York, and other places in New York, I guess, and talks to some brewers and talks about their beer, talks about their breweries, and has a great
talks to some bands
as well. He's been getting into that a lot. Talks to some bands, and he's been going to their concerts and all this other stuff. He's been doing a lot of indie bands too, not just a lot of independent bands. So. Yeah, Stories from a Bar. You guys want to check it out, and he does a lot. He's getting back to doing some live soon too. So make sure you guys check
send me the information about that.
I got you. As a matter of fact, I'll tell Chris to drop it in the group chat.
Cool,
because it's his pod. But yeah, we're gonna get on out of here, people. Again, make sure you check out Ambassador Media. Make sure you check out Popcorn and Pints, and of course, check out HorrorWithSirSturdy, and check out our friends over at the Video Store Clerks, and of course, the Scene Snobs. And we are gonna get out of here. I'll see you in your nightmares.